Alright, so today we're going over a really amazing prompt, specifically if you already have a digital product that you're trying to sell. If you don't have a digital product, then you should check out one of our other videos where we dive into prompts where you can create one from scratch based on the, knowledge and information you already have. But given the fact that you already have one in this case, you continue watching this video, and you can utilize this prompt right here to basically create a trust section for your product. So as you see here, the prompt states, "You are my trust section strategist. Your job is to build a believable trust section for my product, service, offer, landing page, or sales page using real proof, honest credibility, and clear buyer reassurance without fake testimonials or exaggerated claims." So we're trying to create a proof page of our, just to generate trust and, demonstrate that we have whatever credentials or whatever it is that we're trying to prove in a honest way, and providing real proof that isn't, shown with fake testimonials, which, would never be good for business to begin with. So there's more to the prompt, as you can see, and you guys can scroll and edit things if you like, but it's designed to be extremely beginner friendly and ready to use. So you can copy this prompt from the description of the video or the pinned comment. After copying it, once again, you just simply hit paste, and then it's good to go. You go ahead and click enter. Now, the next part of this prompt is the intake section, where it's going to ask us a series of intake questions to get an idea of our product, and then how to actually create the page that we're trying to create so that we can get, actual proof. So it's important when you're answering these next questions that you answer with as much detail and as descriptive as possible, so ChatGPT truly understands what you're talking about, and that way you can get the most out of this prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and actually answer these questions super quickly. There's several of them, and then I'll come back. That way I'm not spending the entire video going over them one by one. We'll just run through them super quickly and then take a look at the results. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and answered all of the intake questions, which we're going to go over super quickly. So as you can see here, it says, what are you selling? So we're keeping the same framework that we used in our other videos, where we're discussing not like a fictional $49 anxiety recovery guide. That's what we've used in several of our videos. So we'll just continue with this niche because it does a pretty good job when we're speaking about this, and we have kind of a framework to work with. So as we see here, I say a $49 anxiety recovery guide, and the buyer gets the guide. And then it asks, who is the exact buyer? I said, struggling with anxiety and wanting to recover or at least improve. What result or outcome does this guide help with? I said, at least understand what is needed to eventually recover. What proof do you currently have? I basically stated my personal recovery, several comments praising me for their recovery, and a few DMs doing the same, so mainly screenshots. Next, it asks, what credibility do you have? I just said lived experience and years dealing with it, a small audience size, large content library, and no professional certifications or experience. It then asks, what objections or doubts would a buyer have before purchasing? This is a very common one in most of the prompts that we deal with digital products, but I went ahead and said not sure, so it can come up with its own assumptions. Next, it went ahead and asked, what can you show before purchase? I said the TOC, like the table of contents, preview pages, and whatever else you believe is necessary, because I want the prompt to work for us and see what it actually produces. Next, it asks, what claims or wording should be avoided? I went with all of the above because it gave all of the typical, medical and cure language that you wouldn't want in this niche. And then finally it asks, where will this section be used? I just said Gumroad page ideally, and in videos, and you can pick any of the other options. So once again, when you're answering these questions, just try to be as honest and descriptive as possible. That way you'll get the most out of the prompt. I was somewhat general. I didn't go into extreme depth, mainly because we're using a pseudo product here, and it's just, to give you guys an idea. So then once that's all done, it goes ahead and actually creates our thing, our page. So as we see here, I have enough info to build this now. Then phase 2, test audit, trust rating, moderate proof. You do have real proof, but it's not yet strong proof, because most of it sounds like comments, DMs, and personal recovery proof rather than formal buyer reviews, detailed case studies, or verified customer outcomes. So strongest proof, your lived experience, years spent dealing with it, large content library showing consistency, screenshots of comments and DMs from people saying your content helped them, and transparency that you are not a therapist, etc. Proof missing, so verified buyer testimonials for the actual guide, specific reviews from Gumroad buyers, case studies showing how someone used the guide, preview screenshots inside the guide, and a walkthrough video, etc. What buyers may still doubt, it goes over all of that. What should not be claimed, it gives us the claims that we should avoid. Trust assets to add first, so a table of contents screenshot, 3 to 5. It gives us things that we can be adding immediately. Then here, the trust section strategy. So your strongest trust angle should be, this is not a miracle cure, it's a clear lived experience recovery guide built to help you understand anxiety better, reduce fear around your symptoms, and learn the principles that help me move forward. Use these test angles, so the trust angles, sorry. And then it goes, real customer social proof, use screenshots but label them honestly. Then so I can utilize the screenshots that I mentioned as proof in this case. Then it goes on and tells us what we should do with it. Our personal credibility, this is your core trust angle. See, I lived through this, and the way that we can actually promote this angle in our content. And then product transparency, and then the process proof. So, and then clarity proof as well. And then this is the actual trust section that it's building for us. So why you can trust this guide. This guide was created from lived experience, not from theory or fake promises. I dealt with anxiety and DPR for years, and I know how convincing it can feel when your brain tells you that you are stuck, broken, or never going to feel normal again. So it gives us a whole written version of the trust section based on everything that we've responded so far. Then we also get a medium length version if we want that. And it goes over the version 3 structured and goes over each of the things as well. The realistic expectations, buyer reassurance, proof or credibility available, FAQ trust answers, and then finally phase 5 proof without testimonials. Since you do not have any buyer specific testimonials, your trust section should lean on, and it tells us everything else that we should be utilizing to maintain trust and to gain trust ultimately. And then there's an objection FAQ that we can go over, and on and on and on. As you can see, this prompt is very in-depth, and it's going to try to help you create a page that genuinely builds trust for your audience based on whatever it is you have, and then ultimately teach you how to gain more trust by eventually getting the reviews or whatever it is necessary for your specific niche. So as we see here, phase 8 before and after copy. And then the final sales page insert that you can utilize, which you can literally copy paste. Now, if you were to copy paste this for whatever your niche is, I'd always recommend editing it a little bit because you don't want it to sound too AI. In my opinion, no matter what it is you're doing, ChatGPT always has a way of making it sound a little bit AI, even if you change the tone like the other prompts that we utilize in other videos. I just recommend going over it and just adding your own little, taste to it so that way people don't just automatically assume you're using AI, because most people don't want to just purchase products that were completely AI written. So just be a little bit cautious with that. And then finally it says use this on Gumroad, then a shorter spoken version in videos. And it tells you that. And then once all this is done, you're pretty much good to go. If you have any objections with it, you can always tell it, and it can continually edit and build off of the information that you have available on the trust that you've already built. And if you have no trust, it'll work with whatever it is that you do have. So once again, if you guys want to steal this prompt, you can get it from the description of the video or the pinned comment. Simply copy it, hit paste into ChatGPT, hit enter, answer the series of intake questions as honestly, as accurately, and as descriptively as possible, just so you can get the most out of it. And then you're pretty much good to go. You'll be building your trust page sooner than you would think. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.